companies who are really rethinking entire business models, reimagining the business that they are in, related to the social issues that are relevant to their business. So let me give you an example. I talked about this again at Partner Day yesterday, but Enel is a $100 billion Italian utility company. If there's anyone in the room that works in the utility business, I don't mean to insult you, but at least where I come from, we don't think of utility businesses as necessarily being the most innovative. Oftentimes, they straddle the line between a public good or a state-owned enterprise and a privately held corporation. And yet Enel, as a $100 billion company, really fit in that model. They basically are the energy company of Italy with massive fixed assets in coal-fired plants, in oil and gas plants, and the primary energy generator and deliverer in Italy. And they said to themselves, when they made the move from being a state-owned enterprise to a privately held business, or a business that was floated on the stock exchange, they said, where are we going to get growth? What does the next stage of growth look like for Enel? One of the things they did was they bought a utility company in Spain and grew that way, but that was also traditional. But the next thing they did was they started saying, well, we think the future of energy generation is going to be in green power, in renewables, solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, and not in these massive fixed assets that we have in a very traditional business in Italy. So they started building out this business model, Enel Green Power, and in fact they were so unsure of how it would connect or not with their legacy business that they actually spun it off into a business called Enel Green Power. And they started building out massive energy generation in Latin America, in North America, in Sub-Saharan Africa, at scale. And to Sandeep's introduction, what were they doing? They were innovating around a business model of how to build a green business, green power business, at scale in these places in the world that were seriously lacking access to energy as a social issue. So that in and of itself I think would be interesting, but of course there's many companies that are innovating, in particular new stage, early stage companies innovating in alternative energy. The way the story ends up to me is almost the more interesting part, which is as that part of the business started to grow, the parent company in Italy realized, wait, it seems like we've kind of made a mistake. We've actually taken the part of the business that has the high growth potential, and we've spun it off and made it its own company. So they decided to buy it back. They bought the whole thing back, Enel Green Power, and reincorporated it into Enel as an overall organization. And what happened when they did that is probably the most fascinating part of the story, which is they took the management team from Enel Green Power, who was steeped in innovation, who were steeped in how to think differently about the business and legacy assets, and they made them the management team of the entire company. And the most recent commitment they've made now is within Italy, within this legacy business, traditional utility business. They have committed to replacing with green power the fixed assets, $20 billion of fixed assets in coal and oil generation plants in Italy to transform the entire business, not just the new parts that they're building. So number one, are you thinking innovatively in a business like this about how to rethink the entire business and what it can mean for your competitiveness and also positioning for where the world's going, in this case around energy?